In this video, we are getting very excited. Welcome to Stability Shoe HQ here in Hertfordshire. In the UK, whereabouts are you? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, tell me, have you been waiting with bated breath for the Saucony Tempus? Now, this shoe has been on Stability Shoes wearers' radars, get me words out, since it got sort of leaked, what was it, end of last year? And we've all been excited, waiting for this with bated breath, hoping that this is going to be the answer to a problem that us stability shoe wearers have. Now, the problem is that most of stability shoes are ugly, boring and heavy. Perfect example, the Kayano 28, which is very good at being a stability shoe and is very good at sort of protecting you if you need stability, but you may fall asleep while you're wearing it. And that is why we've all been very excited about the Tempus, because they've stuck in the secret sauce. Now, just as a heads up, this video is going to be a two-parter. We're going to talk briefly today about the shoe, what makes it up, what's it sort of made of, stats and features, little bits and bobs about it, some background on it, some information on the runs that I've done in it, but I've only done 3 short runs in it, and that is deliberate. I'll come on to why in a second. So yeah, this first video is going to be a bit of a flavour of the shoe to give you some insight into some of the things I found with it, some of the things I've liked, some of the things I've not liked. And then what we're going to do, because timing is perfect, we're going to take this shoe out to a half marathon that I've got at the weekend, and then I'll give you a report back on what that was like in race conditions, because I think this shoe is important, because it could be the shoe that we use, when I say we, stability shoe wearers, for that sort of 10k half marathon distance and potentially the marathon distance. Now, the issue the stability shoe wearers have had is well documented over, you know, the heaviness and the boringness of the mainstay of shoes that are out there. The Tempus has come with the PEBA-based Power Run PB midsole compound that you get from the endorphin shoes. Now, what they've done is they put that in this stability shoe with a frame of Power Run PB and with Power Run, midsole from the guide. It's actually, I think, a little bit firmer than that, but we'll come on to that as well later. But they put the EVA Power Run frame in the shoe to give you the sort of guide rails that you can then sit in with the Power Run PB, because the Power Run PB, which is a different compound to your normal Power Run, say it's PEBA based, is very soft, but it's very responsive. And if you just had the Power Run midsole, Power Run PB midsole, it would be very unstable, which I think a lot of you guys can refer to if you've ever tried the Saucony Endorphin Speed. Now, the Power Run PB midsole compound is, as I said, it's explosive, it's lightweight, and it really drives you forward. That combined with the speed roll technology and the plates, whether it's a TPU or a carbon plate in the Endorphin line, really gives you that nice transition and feeling of speed from those shoes, and obviously you've got a decent stack of it as well. But like, as I said, if you've ever tried those shoes, you will notice that they're very unstable. The Pro is probably the best out of the 2 of those shoes in the Endorphin line. I wouldn't bother necessarily with the Shift because it doesn't have the Power Run PB. But the Pro is a little bit more stable than the Speed, but both of those shoes aren't particularly suited for stability shoe wearers, which is why we're getting kind of excited about the Tempus. Right, so in terms of stability, we've got, like I said, we've Power Run frame, so you've got the EVA frame. Now, it's hard because I've got the white bottom bit and the black top, so it's hard, but I'll use my finger to guide. So you've got a frame that goes along here and round, and then you've got a medial side which is built up with this wall, and then it continues. So what they've done is they've created it, think a bit like a bowling lane, so it's more of a guide than that sort of stability that you get in the guides, which has got like a medial posting. There's no medial posting in here, there's no inserts. What they've done is they've created a sort of good and bad. You've got like the soft awesomeness of the Power Run PB against the hard-nosed, straight-laced Power Run midsole, which is there to stabilise the ride. So then in the heel area, you've got a big flare, I would call it, a Power Run PB, which is shortened on the inside of the shoe to make sure you get the support on the medial side, and then it continues down to the front there, and then along the bottom you can see that it continues along the middle of the shoe. So you've got the frame going round you, and then you've got like Power Run PB shoved in the middle, if that makes any sense. You've got a medial section here of EVA foam, let me show it up to the camera, which again is there and I wouldn't say it's not to stop you falling in, it's there as a guide more than anything else, because as I say, it's not an insert, it's just a thicker, harder material versus the Power Run PB. The other thing that I've noticed is that you sit quite low in the shoe, so they've really built up the sides again to create that cradle around the shoe, around the foot. So you just get that guidance and that sort of lateral motion, the movement of doing that instead of moving all over the place, which you can do with the Power Run PB. The other thing that I wanted to add about the stability is the width of the shoe. Have a look how wide that is. Now I wanted to get all scientific today and measure it, because I thought I might as well. And across the foot we've got about 5 inches across there, and I wanted to compare it to the Kayana, which is a traditional sort of stability shoe. It's probably a real bread and butter run-of-the-mill shoe. Now that's coming in at 4.5 inches, so you've got 1/2 inch extra width across the widest part of the shoe to add an increased amount of ground contact, which I think really helps with some of the stability at the front end. Now, other things to note about the shoe is it's got an 8mm drop, we've got a mesh upper on it, we've got some overlays, we've got this lace system here, which again it's not going to come out because it's black on black, but we've got a mid-foot lockdown created with the overlays over the top part of the lacing. We've got a gusseted tongue, loads of foam around the heel, which is creating a really nice, comfortable ride. It's not overkill, and we'll come on to the weight in a minute, which is shown in the weight. We've got a soppy pull tab on the back, which we didn't need. It fits true to size. This is a UK 9.5 for me, and it fits true to size. And I believe the shoe's going to be about £130 when it's here in the UK. It might be wrong. And it comes out, I think from memory, at the end of June. Now, the other big thing about this shoe is its weight. Okay, now most stability shoes weigh about as much as this house that I'm sitting in. Kayano's going on, Kayano 28 people, 11.55 ounces in my UK 9.5. Now that is, before you guys quickly work it out, 328 grams. Now, the Tempus, I was going to call it something else then, the Tempus, 278 grams, yep, I said 278 people, 9.75 ounces. So we have got a lightweight, up-tempo daily trainer with elements of stability. It's more guidance than anything else. Now I'm just going to weigh it for comparison to the Guide 15 here, which is 10.3 ounces, which is again nice and light. And we'll do a comparison video of the Tempus versus the Ride, but I wanted to give you the weights in terms of the difference. So again, it's about, for argument's sake, an ounce lighter. I think they shaved some of the weight with the upper, and obviously because it's got the Power Run PB, which is a lighter material because it's PB based. So overall, in terms of the weight gain, it's huge. So now, like I said, only 3 little runs in this shoe since we got it. Don't forget I'm coming back from Edinburgh. But the reason I sort of limited the runs as well is because I knew that I had the half marathon on Sunday, because I think this shoe is perfect for us everyday runners who want to be doing up-tempo daily training. You could probably do your sort of recovery work in it as well if you so wished, but I think if you're doing longer runs in it at pace, tempo runs, and then going into half marathons, if you're looking for a shoe that doesn't have a plate, remember people, this does not have a plate in it. I think this could be something for you if you're looking for a shoe for the half marathon, which is why I wanted to take it to Southend and wear it for the half marathon. So that's where we're at. There are a couple of little things that I've noticed straight out of the bat. One is the outsole was a bit slippery. I was running on Tuesday and the ground was like that sort of greasy wet, and it just didn't give me that much confidence with the outsole. I know it's very similar to this and the shift and things like that, but I don't know, it just didn't give me that much confidence. It was a little bit slippery down there, but that's okay, we'll see how it goes. The other thing is as well, I have noticed the arch it's quite prominent, so just be aware of that. If you're somebody who doesn't necessarily really want a high arch or anything like that, then you may notice it, so just be careful. What I found in the 3 runs that I've done, the faster run that I did in it, I didn't notice the arch, so I was probably more forward on in terms of my foot strike, so that's probably why. A little less pressure, I was a little bit less midfoot striking, but I did notice it on the other 2 runs. So again, it'd be interesting to see the feedback from that over the half marathon distance of 13 miles. But again, it depends, because I suppose I'll be doing pace, so we'll have to see. But that's the importance of doing the 2 videos. I think that's the key to this. The upper is breathable, but it's not the most breathable in the world. I actually think the upper is better on the Ride 15 versus what we've got here. But so far, I've been very, very impressed with it. I really have. It's exciting, it's quick, and it's light. And you notice that when you put it on your feet. So there's a couple of things I want to say before we go on to part 2. Firstly, I think in terms of a first stab at doing a lightweight stability shoe, I think they're on the right tracks. Let's see how it goes after Sunday. But I wonder whether this shoe would have benefited from like a H plate or a TPU plate in the forefoot, just to give it that extra snap. I would have been interested to know why they didn't do that, if there was a reason why they didn't do that. I know some shoes they put, like for example in the Skechers Maxro 5, the H plate in there is there to add a little bit of stability but also some snap. I wonder if this shoe would benefit from something along those lines. So maybe the second incarnation will give us something like that. The other thought I had is that this is very much to me like the Prism, the original Prism. If you've tried that shoe, let me know. The Prism had like a bit of a medial post-ish. Again, it had like a firmer material in the medial side, but you had the fuel cell material, so it gave you a nice pop. It was quite lightweight, breathable upper, and you could do plenty in it. And that's where I'm kind of thinking this shoe is very similar to Walls. So if you're a Prism wearer, so I just lost my train of thought, then this could be something for you. But let me go out now and run the 13.1 miles in it, and I'll come back to you and I'll give you a definitive answer in terms of what am I thinking right now on this shoe, and then we'll come back and we'll do a performance review later on down the line. But so far, yeah, this has got all the additions of making probably the best stability shoe that we've had in a long time.